Well, it's that time of year when I cook more. In the spring and the summer, I don't cook a great deal, which is probably why I have lost a bit of weight. It may not look like it on camera, but you know the camera adds 5 or 10 pounds to you anyway. But I just had a checkup, and I was pleasantly surprised because my GP told me that I had gone from 165 pounds to 158. And that made me happy because, as you get older, your body fat spreads. Everything changes. It drops and it spreads and blah, blah, blah. So now that it is autumn and it's gotten a bit colder, and it's going to get even colder still because this is only like, what's today? October 20th, so it's going to get colder. But it's time for me to go back to making big pots of soup. So you can't see me doing it, but that's actually what I'm doing right now is chopping stuff so I can make a big pot of ham and lentil soup. Wait a sec. I'm a very anal. Let's see if I put this down a bit and change the angle. Is that better? Okay, so right, so in the winter, in the autumn and the winter, I tend to cook more. I also tend to batch cook more. And one of the things that's, really nice to cook because you can freeze it and have it is soup. I learned to cook late in life. My mom tried teaching me when I was younger, and so did my dad. And when I was growing up, my dad was the cook, and my mom even admitted that she wasn't a great cook until she got married. Daddy had to teach her. And I cooked not so much for the joy of it, but because, you need to eat. You need food to sustain your life. So I've had numerous partners in my life. Hang on a sec. Who I'd cook for. And they would tell me, this doesn't taste the way it would if my mom had made it. And I have one partner later in my life who would eat what I cooked, but he would watch me as I was preparing it, chopping veg and, adding seasoning. And he'd just stand there and go, why are you putting the pepper in now? Why are you adding the salt now? My mother would never add the salt at that point. So I think I was maybe 44 or 45 when I decided And I distinctly remember telling the partner I was living with when I moved here, who would say that a lot. I distinctly remember telling him, you know what? Cook for yourself or go to your mom's and eat dinner. Growing up in America, and I discovered from living here, you're required to take home ec classes. I never liked home ec. I remember when I was younger telling my mother that I couldn't wait to be a grown-up because I was never going to cook anything. I was going to eat fast food and sandwiches, and I would not wash dishes either. I would just get, plastic forks and spoons and paper plates and paper cups, and I wouldn't have to deal with any of that crap. Let's fast forward to 67 years that I am now, and reality, and I am cooking, and I'm a good cook. Yeah, I'm gonna brag on it, because I'm a good cook now. My last partner, my very last partner, who I'm fortunately, blessed enough that we remain friends. The very first time I cooked for him, I made spaghetti on our first date. The first time I had him over to my home. Now, the one thing I could always cook is spaghetti. I'm famous on both sides of the pond for my spaghetti, which is called spag bol over here in Scotland. The nice thing about John is he never said, anything negative about anything I made. If he didn't like, he may not have liked it, but he would eat it, and afterwards he would say something nice like, that was good, but maybe next time you should try this. He was gentle. So I am now a competent cook, and I have a lot of friends who are like, they love to come over here because my mom, when you came, to visit, it's part of black culture, you can't come over without being fed, So that's what I'm standing here doing now, is chopping stuff up. I'm making homemade soup. I'm going to make enough for 4 days. And I can freeze, what I don't eat. I'll put it in my little Tupperware dishes. Okay, so now I need to, the key for me to lentil soup is following what it says on the package. Soak your lentils overnight. So, a way to put them in some warm water. I've chopped the veg for tomorrow. To add to the soup. I just like to, prepare stuff. Okay, so that's all been emptied. I have chopped my onions and my bacon. There are various ways to make lentil soup over here. You could make it with big chunks of gammon, Or, you could just make it with bacon and onion. I'll make it either way. So, I am making the soup I plan to cook tomorrow with the bacon. And that way, I can have sandwiches with it, or I can have grilled cheese with it. It's just that time of year. Plus, I like things to be quick and fast and simple now that I've gotten older. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time, or effort. I've spent many, many years, doing everything the right way, the proper way, blah, blah, blah. And now, I just want to chill, so I got everything set up for tomorrow. My lentils will soak overnight. Veg is all done, and now I am away to go have a lovely glass of wine. And it is still October, so I am still working my way through the month watching Halloween movies. So now that I'm all set up for tomorrow, I'm away to have a nice glass of wine, and I'm going to watch for tonight. Tonight's viewing pleasure is the Hostel movies by Eli Roth. So, y'all have a nice evening, and I will see you all soon. Bye.